Welcome to this video about trauma in the brain, brought to you by freeyourmind.uk, the home of amazing subconscious therapies. So here is the brain, and at freeyourmind.uk we focus on two particular important areas. The first part evolved over millions of years, largely to keep us safe from physical attacks like saber-toothed tigers. We'll call that the cave brain. The second part only evolved over the last 35,000 years. That makes it pretty new, and it deals with a lot of our logic and language. Maybe not quite that clever, but it's the part of the brain that gives us an observing self, so we can actually be aware of who we are. We call that the aware brain. So how is that related to trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD? First, we need to consider the originating traumatic event. PTSD is often associated with combat stress or shell shock, but there can be many other causes. Common examples include accidents, physically or mentally abusive relationships, or even just day-to-day stresses that we might struggle with. What we often find these things have in common is that there tends to be initial event or possibly multiple events. Those events would have been meaningful to the individual at the time. There's often an emotionally charged landscape happening at the same time, for example, other stressful event. And it's also likely the individual would have found it physically or mentally inescapable at that particular point in time. Those traumatic events trigger the cave brain response, which means that it sends out all kinds of chemicals and hormones into your body in preparation to fight, flight, or freeze. In the olden days, the cave brain memory would have had to hold on to those traumatic thoughts in order to keep you safe from any future risks. That means that if you now see something that looks, sounds, or feels similar to that original trauma, it can start triggering the same memory deep down with the same physical responses. When clients come to us for help dealing with old traumatic memories, they're often using their aware brain, and there can be a big gap between what the aware brain is thinking and what that old cave brain is still trying to protect them from. And that's why at freeyourmind.uk we focus on the cave brain to deal with trauma. We use amazing subconscious therapies such as hypnotherapy, NLP, havening and TFT to really direct the focus at releasing that old trauma. So if you're looking for help with traumatic memories, visit www.freeyourmind.uk or call us now to book your appointment. We look forward to helping.